So obviously a great feeling to be able to, number one, get a win against a good team in Idaho. A great feeling to be able to, you know, be a player at Utah State and accomplish and break some records that were set here by some great players before me. I just feel very blessed to be able to, have these opportunities and be in this situation to be able to accomplish some of the things that I have been able to accomplish. I give a great deal of credit to my coaches, to the coaching staff, and to the strength coach and Coach Simon. Those guys have really taught me a lot from the time that they've been here. Coach Tuiaki, running backs coach, taught me a lot of stuff about being a running back that I never knew before, and it's definitely helped me, be a better player. Coming off the injury last season, I mentioned to you guys before, Coach Simon, who's our head strength coach, really did a great job. Just did a lot of one-on-one training. Taught me a lot about my body, how to take care of it, and prepared me for this season to be able to do some great things. And just very thankful to be able to do that, to accomplish some of those. So as far as Nevada coming in this week, this is just a huge game for us, probably the biggest game of the year. We know Nevada is a good team, and they have some great players, and they do some great things offensively and defensively. So we're not going to change. We're going to do what we do every single week. We're going to go into this week's practice anticipating a big game, so that'll motivate us to work a little bit harder, go a little bit of the extra mile this week to try to gain an edge, by the time Saturday comes around. And, hopefully with all of that, we can have some success and come out on top.
Last two games, you've overcame 9 turnovers. How important is ball security this week, especially against this team?
It's huge. It's huge. We know one thing that I know about Nevada playing those guys in the past is that they're a very disciplined team. So, with all the running plays that they do, with all the read option stuff that they do offensively, they don't turn the ball over and they don't throw a lot of interceptions. They usually have a good quarterback who makes great decisions. They usually have a good running back who carries the ball well, doesn't put the ball on the ground, and the same as the quarterback. As much as their quarterback runs the ball, his ball security is pretty flawless. So they do a great job offensively taking care of the football. And on defense, they just do a great job being disciplined with their assignments, being disciplined in their gaps, linebackers, and their defensive line, and they cause offenses to eventually make mistakes. So we got to be disciplined and carrying the football, holding on to the football, and not having turnovers.
You have 2 chances to become bowl eligible. What would it mean to you guys to do it here in front of the home crowd?
It would mean everything. These fans are some of the greatest fans in college football, and they deserve to see their football team become bowl eligible, at our own house. It's been many years, since Utah State football has been to a bowl game and won a bowl game, and that was our goal coming into this season, to be able to get to a bowl game and win a bowl game. We felt like we had the players to do it. We felt like we had the team to do it, and now we have a chance to do it. Now it's all on us. All we need is one game. We'd like to get 2 with 2 games left, but, we'll take it one game at a time. Right now the focus is Nevada, and hopefully we can get a win.
You just mentioned about the Aggie fans, but you've been here long enough to understand that we've waited a lot of years to have this kind of football team.
Yeah.
You've been able to catch a little perspective. Are you amazed that the fans stick with you guys as well as they have with what they've had the last couple of years?
I mean, absolutely. A lot of fans at a lot of places, and that's why I say they're some of the great. These are the greatest fans of college football, because a lot of fans, a lot of places, man. They, they don't get a team that's very good for so long, man. They give up. I'll give you an example. Like, I don't like to, I hate to talk down about another team, but San Jose. They've been to bowl games in recent years and La Tech, man. But when you go out there, they never fill the stands. regardless of, whether they're winning or losing. And when we're winning, our stands are filled. We get BYU fans coming to see us, and Utah fans, man. Just as the support of people in Utah in general is, it's flawless, man. It's unbelievable. So it does not amaze me that they stick around, because those are diehard fans, and all they want to do is see their Aggies be successful, and that's why they stick around.
Another question I was going to ask you. I think you've met Emmett White, who's on the rushing list. And
Plenty of times.
Have you met any of the other guys that you
I've-
records of? Harris, did you meet him when he was here?
I think I did. I think I met with him for a short time.
Emmett's
but
talked to you quite a bit, hasn't he?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I talk to Emmett pretty much every week, probably like once a week, and he always gives me kind of a breakdown of the game, and some stuff that I can do better, and what he thinks, and I always like to hear that kind of stuff from a guy who is great and who's done it before. It gives me an opportunity to take his advice and get better and improve.
Senior day, what can you say about this year's senior class?
It's a great group of guys, hard workers, dedicated to this football team. Right before we played Hawaii, man, those seniors, they called a players-only meeting. And, it was probably one of the most meaningful meetings I've ever been a part of, to try to help, turn this season around. Because we could have easily tanked. Guys could have easily thrown in the towel, but those seniors just didn't allow it. And I think that has a great deal of why we've been so successful the last 3 weeks as far as getting wins. Those seniors are great leaders for this team.
You've actually been here longer than some of the seniors, don't you understand?
Yeah, probably no longer than a year. I mean, you know what I'm saying? You can see too old, but yeah, but nevertheless, man, those guys are seniors, so they lead the way. I play for those guys. I want them to leave, with the knowing that we went to a bowl game and we won. We did some great things that year, and they can leave their senior year remembering that, having that that fondest memory of college football.
Your thoughts on being WAC Player of the Week, Offensive Player of the Week?
Oh, just another honor. I thank those guys for just noticing me to notice what I do out there on the field, and to recognize me as WAC Player of the Week is just an honor. Appreciate that.
You probably haven't really studied Nevada's defense real tough yet.
Not a whole lot.
The way we've traveled and all that stuff for this weekend, you haven't a chance.
No.
What I'm saying is, looking at their stats, they're usually about the best rushing defensive team in the league. They rank 52nd in the nation, and they're 4th in the league running against the run.
Mm-hmm.
Normally, haven't you remembered playing against them as them being very hard to run the ball against?
They are. I remember 2009. I think I rushed for 40 yards that game against them. I only had like 7 or 8 carries, but they shut every time we play Nevada, man. It just seems like they just know how to shut our run game down. They do a good job against the run, and when I get a chance to watch film on those guys, I'm pretty sure their film will be their resume, and I'll see exactly how they do some of those things, and see what they do well. But they're, like you said, they're top of the WAC as far as stopping the run. They're one of the best in the nation at stopping the run. They're just a disciplined defense, and when you have that discipline, you can stop the run, and you can do very, very well on defense. So we just gotta come out with a good game plan. We gotta execute our stuff and figure out a way to kind of get some yards against that defense, because running the ball is what we do. That's our baby. That's our bread and butter. So, if we can't run the ball, we're gonna have a lot of problems.
How nice is it to see guys like Travis Van Leeuwen now coming into his own, and he's making some big catches for you guys?
It's great to see. It's great to see, especially when you work with a guy like that. I've worked all off season, and you can see during the off season, during workouts and stuff like that, during conditioning, how hard the kid works. The kid works very, very hard. When we're done, he usually stays. He's one of those guys that usually stays after workouts. He'll get with a quarterback and he'll work on his route running. he'll work on his timing with the quarterback stuff. Like, I mean, he was doing that all summer, just on his own. And, I kept telling him, man, keep that stuff up because you're going to do some great things this season if you continue to work hard like that. And it's starting to show. It's starting to show that with hard work, man, you can have some success.
You obviously had some downtimes to start the season. Do you feel like that kind of prepared you for these last couple of weeks where you made these comebacks?
It definitely taught us a lot. Coach Anderson has preached to us oftentimes that, players have to make plays in key situations, to win games. And it's not going to be a call. It's not going to be a blitz that Coach Anderson calls or a pass play that Coach Baldwin calls, man. It's up to us to go out there and execute when the game's at its most crucial points. And we haven't done that. We didn't do that earlier in the season. And if you watch film, you always see like it's, just that one play or this play there or that play there. And, it kind of gets to you, itches you a little bit. But it's definitely taught us lessons, later on in the season. I think, a lot of that has taught us to how to win these last few games, these close games. When I was going through rehab, I'd probably say right before spring ball. I knew I was going to be good. Did a lot of things during rehab, and Coach Simon challenged me to where I had no choice but to trust my knee during doing cuts and jumps and things like that. He would hit my knee with a bag while I was up in the air. Kind of simulating a broken tackle and stuff like that a little bit, and I knew I think I'm gonna be all right. It didn't hurt or anything like that either, so I just knew I would be good. During this season, I really didn't feel, if I had to pick a game or something like that where I really felt I think I can go again was probably after that Colorado State game. It was really when I felt like, I can play again. I can ball.
When you guys get up big, it's 21-10 at half. You've had big leads in the past and losses. Do you guys relax a little bit and allow these teams back in it, or what goes on to make it closer than it should be?
I think it could be a mixture of things. I think we can get a little bit lax. We're up 21-10. Maybe we expect the opposing team to fold or roll over or bow down, and our execution becomes lax. We don't execute offensively and defense. We're not as fast to the line of scrimmage anymore. We're not as sharp. Our routes aren't as crisp. Just a number of things. And we've learned. Just like I said, lessons learned, man. You got to play 4 quarters at this level of football. You have to. This is Division I. Everybody's trying to win the championship, especially this year in this league in the WAC. Everybody felt that they can be WAC champions, whether they came in last season, or whether they were in second place last season, or whether they're in the middle last season. Everybody came into the WAC this season saying, you know what, we got the team to win the WAC. So you got to be ready to play for 4 quarters. You can't go up at halftime and be lax in the second half, and you can't, be lax in the first half and all of a sudden trying to turn it on in the second. You won't win a lot of games like that.
First of all, I want to say that trip was crazy. I just like the way our team stayed focused throughout that whole process, and I think it kind of, carried us into the game. We started fast, and I definitely feel like, we came out ready to play, and, we pulled out the win. As far as Nevada-wise, they're always going to be a tough team. We always feel like they're going to be a tough team, because they're one of the top teams in this division. So, I'm excited to get another opportunity to play them.
Yeah, they're the number 1 total offense in the conference, both running, and they always run the ball. Mm-hmm. But then they always pass the ball for yardage because they do play action and all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah. I'm excited to go up against an offense like that, a top offense. We want to definitely try to, show how far we've come as a defense and try to stop that offense, which is a pretty talented offense. I haven't got a chance to watch them on film yet, but I've seen them a couple times on TV, and, they look like they do a good job at what they do.
Because you guys gave up quite a bit to Idaho defensively. That was, the last couple of games you've been starting to be a little more stingy, and Idaho got some stuff on you, didn't they?
Yeah, definitely Idaho got some plays, but I think we were back and forth. I think the defense, we held our own a couple plays, when we were put in tough situations, and, they had been gaining yards, but they didn't get us on those tough situations. So I still feel like the defense stepped up when they had to and made some plays.
As a senior, this is your last time playing at Romney Stadium. What's your thoughts about that?
It just makes me think about the beginning, freshman year, number 40. Probably, like most people don't even remember I wore number 40. But, it's going to be a great feeling. I want to go out, winning. My last time playing at Romney Stadium. So it's going to be definitely one that I can enjoy.
How about the rest of the seniors, this senior class? What can you say about?
I definitely feel like this is, a great group of guys, like Turbin said. That meeting definitely helped us out, when we were, probably at our all-time low after losing the game. But, we just stay focused and stay positive throughout everything. And I think I'm one of maybe 4 guys, I think, that was with Brett Guy. So, it's been a long road for us, with the coaching change and everything like that. So, I think these guys, these senior classes, been through a lot, and it's showing, we've improved a lot too.
Who the other guys are?
I think it's me, Quinn, Kellen, Oscar, Chris Harris, and I think that's it. That's all of us. Yeah, Turbin's here too, but I'm talking as who I came with. Who I came with.
Why number 9 now?
Huh?
The number jersey.
What?
You had 40 when you came here. Why'd you switch?
Oh,
9 always what you like?
9 is always the number I wanted, but when I came here freshman year, I wanted 9, but they told me I had to prove myself before I can get it. So I think I've proven myself.
Do you have, up until this point, do you have a favorite moment here at Romney Stadium?
Favorite moment here at Romney Stadium is still, one of them has to be the BYU game, because I've never been a part of winning a game and having the fans rush the stadium, and the La Tech game when I got that one-handed pick and give a high five to the fan, whoever that was.
Did you ever feel like you're a game away from bowl eligibility now? Did you ever feel like it was not going to happen the way the season started?
No, I never felt that way. I felt like we were going through a lot, and for us to go through a lot and not get a bowl game was just, it didn't never cross my mind. So I stayed positive with all that.
If I can ask Robert, you have 2 chances to become bowl eligible. What would it mean to do it here at home for the fans to see it?
It'd be big to do it for the fans. I definitely feel like they supported us through a lot. When we were good, when we were bad. They could have easily gave up on us when we had the big leads and let them slip away. But, they still support us and still, want to see us succeed. So, it'll be a great feeling to win in front of them.
Can I ask you your feelings about last year's Nevada game? It was, 35-0 at the half for Nevada.
Mm-hmm.
And then you guys came back, but
Yeah.
again, just couldn't stop them just a couple of times. But, made it a little more of a game. Well, that game just turned around at halftime last year. Was that something that was something the team did or something? Do you remember?
I remember the game, but as far as, I definitely feel like, as the score showed, we started off real slow. So, we definitely can't start off slow against them this year. I definitely feel like they had a great quarterback last year. But, watching the guy this year, he's made a couple big plays. So, we just got to come out, focus, and start fast. And I think we can hang with these guys.
Yeah, Fajardo's done well. You've got to be happy not to have to see Kaepernick again. Is that right?
Not really. I wanted to hit him a couple more times. It's all right. Maybe I'll see him next year.
That interception Saturday, is that the highest you've ever jumped in a game?
Huh?
That interception, is that the highest you've ever jumped in a game?
I don't know. It could be. I knew they was going to try to throw it over me, and I think the quarterback kind of underestimated my arm length. So, it may have been one of the highest jumps I have this year.
You're still leading the team in interceptions.
Yeah.
2. Way to go.
Yeah. That's crazy. We're going to have to work on that. Definitely have to work on that. I'm not worried about it, though. I don't mind leading the team with interceptions.
Is there something this team really just likes to have their backs against the wall? I mean, fourth quarter comebacks, you're down to 5 losses, and all of a sudden you guys start coming out fighting the last few games.
I think we like to have the fans on the edge of their seats. Keeps them coming back. No, I don't know. I don't know what we like to do. As long as we win it, I don't care how we win.
Okay. Obviously, it's great to win. And overtime game again, and last second game again, just like we talked a week ago. We thought it would go right down to the wire with these guys, and it did. It was a game of momentum swings, and offensively, I thought Robert played extremely well. We had some big plays on offense, which we always like the big plays. We've discussed those at length as this year's gone by, but I thought the offense also had some sustained drives and plays where they drove themselves down the field and finished drives, which was a huge positive. So, special teams was solid. Things can always be better. You don't want to fumble, obviously, on the kickoff return that Kerwin got the ball punched out, and those are critical plays. But I thought special teams was improved. We kicked the ball better, still not good enough, but better. And, defensively in the red zone was acceptable. They thought they did a nice job in the red zone, and other than that on defense, we couldn't get out of third downs. I thought was our worst performance of the year from a defensive standpoint, and that was discouraging. But yet, when the defense needed to, time after time in the red zone, after obviously in the second overtime, they played very well, had to win the game 3 different times on 3 occasions, and were able to get that done. And then the turnover late in the game was big, and they were able to bow up in that situation and not let them score. So it was not typical as far as what we've done all year long on the defensive side, but what we did make some big plays when we had to. So at the end, it was a great team effort. All 3 phases had a big part to do with it at the game at the end, and we found a way to hang in there and keep on fighting and win on the road. So getting to 5-5 is a large step for this program, in my opinion. It shows progress. It takes us places that we haven't been for a number of years. It's a big help in the recruiting process. There's not. I can keep going on and on, but it's a big step. So the step to get to number 6 would be a gigantic step, obviously. So that's what we're looking for, and that's where we sit. So this week's opponent is a very good football team. Nevada Reno is very solid on offense, on defense. Talk about it long and hard each year. It's the defending champs, so they're obviously one of the top 3 teams in this league, and we talk about playing well against those teams, and that's exactly where we sit with Reno this year. They're very physical. Probably, I believe they're more physical on the offensive front, even more so than they were a year ago, and that will be an extreme challenge for us because we were not nearly physical enough last week on the defensive front, and I know I'm hard on those kids, and I know we won and everything else that comes with that, but we were not physical enough last week on the defensive front. And if we allow ourselves to play like that on the defensive front this week, we might have 2 or 3 D linemen that end up in the middle of the lob center during the football game. So they're going to get knocked right off the field. So we better figure it out. And so a very good offensive line. Quarterback runs the system very well. Especially for a first-year quarterback, and I think he's feeling more comfortable every single week. Good wideouts, good running backs. Number 15, I believe, is the standout wide receiver. Tremendous wide receiver. Yeah, Matthews, he's Very talented. Corbin Laux there. I know Corbin from Utah. He's running around, number 7. I see him making some plays, and so they're very efficient everywhere on the offensive side of the ball. Defensively, they are very well coached. They run the football very well. I believe they're very physical and do a nice job. So it's the last game for the seniors at home. They have a chance to obviously do a special thing on their home field against a quality opponent. So we're looking forward to the challenge, and we're looking forward to getting prepared, taking a little bit easier today after the 400-hour trip that we had to go on an hour trip. So we got through that and got back here. So the kids handled it well, but we're going to take a little time today to just watch more film and not start slower, but educate them a little bit more in the film room. It was a very physical game we played at Idaho. Defensively, we were in there over 90 snaps, and offensively, there was some very physical run game for us. So we'll get in the film room today and get a quick start on them, and then come back on Tuesday, and we'll gain a little extra time this week. Just because we don't have school on Wednesday and Thursday, which is good for us, so we'll make it up in the back end.
What did you see happen in the fourth quarter of that Nevada game? When Nevada had the big lead and then lost in the fourth quarter, what did you see happen?
The players made plays for Louisiana Tech. That was the bottom line. There was, they made. I didn't see the other side of the ball as far as La Tech's offense, but talking to the offensive guys, they made some tremendous plays down the field, and were able to move the football in the air. And Louisiana Tech kids made plays when the ball was up in the air. And then on the defensive side of the ball, I think that La Tech snapped off a couple blocks and were opportunistic, tackled them in bounds. Earlier in the game, there was some third downs that were huge that La Tech had a chance to make and didn't make the tackle, didn't quite make the play, and continued to drive. And La Tech made some of those plays there in the fourth quarter to get off the field, number one, and then obviously their offense came in and did a nice job. But I have not watched one snap of that game from La Tech's offensive side and Nevada's defensive side. I'll watch that later today.
Obviously, you've traveled a lot in your career. Have you ever experienced or heard of anything like what we went through? No. I've been stuck before. A couple times I've had to stay overnight with an airplane, but not the beginning and in the middle and the end. It's continuing to happen. No, I've never had that happen like that. But you know what? The kids did a great job, and I guess I'm getting older and older and older. It's harder for me to recover from things, I guess, but it didn't bother them, and they still got a good night's sleep, took care of themselves, and played well. But it's not the ideal situation. If that was how we wanted to travel, then we would plan to have them here at 2:45 and then bus down to Salt Lake at 7:30 at night and get there at 1 or 2 in the morning. So that's not the plan. So we don't. But it's the way it was for this game, and the kids handled it and adjusted it well, and we did what we had to do to get a plan for it. So that was good for them. A little adversity, and they fought well through it. What can you say about this year's senior class?
Well, they've done a lot of things, that it hasn't happened to a senior class, and I can really only gauge them off of the 3 years that I've been here. But their number of wins has gone up. I think their respect as a football program on the field and off the field has gone up, and they should be real proud of that. They had at the beginning of the year, they put on the back of the shirts, and Evan Simon does it with the leadership council. They put on the back of the shirt that the senior class this year, when they walked away, they wanted to leave a legacy, and I think they already have. In my opinion, I think there's a level of accountability that, in my opinion, is much higher just from the student athlete standpoint than it was, and that's a credit to the kids. They expect to win. They believe that they can win. They believe they can play with anybody on the football field. But the level of accountability to carry yourself the right way on and off the field is I always say, off the field is more important. I say that a lot, but it is, and I think the way these kids carry themselves is pretty impressive. We're not perfect, but it's pretty impressive. So there's always a solid foundation for what these kids have done, and just to see them fight through this year, through the adversity, and then be able to, this last 3 weeks, finally been able to finish, has been, it's rewarding for me to be able to see that, and just see the strides that just to have their hard work pay off. And then when I say rewarding, not for me personally, but it's rewarding to know that when they work that hard, it matters, and it's good to see. So I think they've left a legacy, and that's what they wanted to do.
What's What's the status with Stanley and Phil?
Have to see. Phil's a major question mark. I would say doubtful is an understatement for him. Knowing Stanley will probably play, but we got to see how he's moved through this week.
What was his injury?
Stanley, he's got a little bit of a rib thing. Yeah. Yep.
Craig made a comment to Bobby, throw it at you. He said to Bobby, do you guys need to get yourself in bad spots to all of a sudden play? And is there something really going on here this year with this kind of stuff that these guys want to have finishes to the end or whatever?
I don't think so. I just think when they've got themselves in those spots, and in the past a little bit, it's that mentality. You bow up when you get in those spots, when you think you can do something, and your competitiveness comes out. Maybe you do fight a little bit harder when all of a sudden it's the clock's ticking down or your back's up against the wall. I think that's human instinct to when you see something slip away, you're going to fight a little bit harder for it. But it's again, I don't see it on film. We just find a way to be able to make plays. That play that Bobby Wagner makes for the interception is, it's unbelievable. I don't know how high his vertical jump is right there, but it's high. And, Idaho executed very well on that play. They did a nice job, and they took the safety out of the backside of the end zone, and it was a hard scheme to be able to deal with, but a backer dropped right to where you tell him to drop, and you teach him and ask him to drop, but he did it, and then an athletic kid made an extremely great play, and he was in the right place at the right time, and it kind of continues that way. The play that the toss sweep, and then you can watch it over and over and again, and you can coach it and you can talk about it. But Kyle Gallagher, he's the kid's going as hard as he can go on snap 90, whatever it is, and he tackles the guy with the back of his head basically as he spins off a block to make it, and Quinn Garner snaps off a block and makes a very violent tackle on a play that hasn't been stopped by anybody basically all year long on the 3-yard line. So when their back's against the wall, they're fighting just as hard as they are earlier, but maybe it's notched up a little bit in their minds. But they're making plays in those situations.
With 9 combined turnovers the last 2 games, you feel fortunate to get those wins, but this week against the Nevada team, I'm sure you can't have those kind of.
Yeah, it's highly concerning. It's 3 weeks in a row we've lost the turnover battle, and. We talked about it last week. Find that stat. Nobody found it, so I guess it's not out there anywhere. But find that stat where the team's has 3 in a 3-game winning streak, and they've lost the turnover battle 3 times in a row. That's very, very difficult to see. So touchdowns and special teams touchdowns, and so we're definitely still learning, and those turnovers and those situations are difficult to deal with, and they're hard to swallow. The touchdown on the pick, I don't know what you do on that. The ball's thrown, there's a collision with an official, and the ball's tipped in the air, and that's football. Somebody makes a play, and the official's where he's supposed to be. So it's not an official's fault. It's a play. That's football. Kerwin does a great job on the kickoff return. He's got the ball, not where it's technically where it should be, gets it switched to where it should be, it gets stripped out of there, and away we go. Stanley on the sidelines, we get his back, and that ball's on the ground. Robert Turbin hasn't fumbled in I don't know how many carries ever, and he drops one. So it's we just address it. We'll keep moving forward with it, but it's a very, very difficult scenario to look at and understand, and we got to keep educating ourselves on it. And the biggest way we can help too is on the defensive side is get more turnovers. And we still, we got 2 of them in that game, and it's not enough. You got to have more turnovers. We have 2 picks on the year by the same guy, so that's it. That's not a lot.
Speaking of Robert, your thoughts of him being the WAC Offensive Player of the Week?
WAC Offensive Player of the Week, National Player of the Week, this Player of the Week. He's my Player of the Week. I know that much. So he's tremendous. Again, a tremendous football player, great kid, and everything that he gets, he deserves, every single ounce of it. And it's great to see him. And it's fun to see his team rally around him. And Michael Smith, talking about him all the time, but the long run for Michael Smith, Robert's long run, Michael Smith, he's right there with them, and in fact reels him in. So Michael must be a lot faster. So at least that's what Michael says. But it was, the unselfishness of this football team has been very, very impressive to me all year long. And Robert would be the first one to say that offensive line, tight ends, Michael did a great job of blocking for him, which they did, and gave him those creases. But he's a tremendous football player.
Are you facing, I mean, statistically it would say this is the best offense you've played this year. Mm-hmm. Would you agree with that, the way they run and pass the ball?
Well, yeah, as far as numbers of yards and
how to defend
they force you to,
yes.
They're very difficult to defend, and they force you to, spend more time. They force you to spend time in the off season, which we have, and we have a generic plan set in the off season on how we want to be able to try to defend Nevada. It hasn't gone so well for us for 2 years now. We have not played well at all, and their averages, I don't know what playing well is against Nevada. To me, this is an Air Force type game of my years at Utah. It's playing an offense where you have to find your way off the field. It's not the triple option, but it has an effective option every single snap that makes you be accountable. It puts you in a position to be liable for big plays if you're not careful, and you have to be very smart how you defend them. But yet they make you think every snap, and they have the ability to throw the ball to talented wide receivers and with speed. So it's a very good offense. It's different than any offense you see for the rest of the year. I can't really say one is necessarily better than the other. We've played against some terrific offenses, but this is one of the best for sure, with a different tweak from the scheme that nobody else really does.
Would you say that you look at it and it's like Kaepernick's still there in Fajardo the way he's played?
He's a very good player. He's not as quite as well. He might not be as fast, but I would just say even more so than that, he's a little more shifty. I think he throws the ball well, which 70% I believe is his completion rate. So that's pretty darn good. So yeah, but I don't think they've taken definitely a huge step backwards by having this young man play quarterback for sure. He's come in and done a nice job. We've got to try to limit the how easy we make the game for him, if you will, and that's kind of difficult against this offense. But you got to make him earn his way, and he's done a terrific job of earning his way so far. And he's a very talented quarterback. I'm sure he won't be there for a while. So if we end up keeping to play him and there's some non-conference thing or whatever, you never know as we go through this. Then it'll be the battle of him and Chucky as we move forward. Maybe we'll meet in a bowl game somewhere someday. Who knows?
And then I asked Robert the same thing. Over the years, they've always seemingly been really hard to run against. Their stats this year show that their rushing defense isn't as good as it has been. But then, but again, Louisiana Tech doesn't have career now, I noticed in their game, so maybe they don't they're throwing more than running now, but are they still tough to run against?
Oh yeah, they're gonna
know that's what you're gonna do.
Yeah, they're gonna be stout up front, and I think everybody knows that Nevada wants to run the ball first, and I think everybody knows that Utah State wants to run the ball first, and so they're gonna obviously stack themselves in the box and try to get as big as they can be, and some of the run plays that we do are very difficult to be able to defend. There's no question, but they'll be physical and stout up front, and we'll see how we move.
Who starts at quarterback this week?
Yeah, Adam will start. Yep, Adam will definitely start at quarterback, and then we'll see. Chucky he's still moving in the right direction day by day. I think he gains a little bit momentum as far as being ready and be prepared. He would have been an emergency guy if we needed him in that game, but we didn't, and it's fortunate that we didn't. So we'll see.
Your thoughts on Junior Mints, where that came about?
I don't know. I was eating them one day, and Al came up to me and said, "You like Junior Mints?" I love Junior Mints. As I put it, it's a quality treat, and Al agreed. So now we have something in common. Yeah, exactly. And they're low fat. Yeah, we get and if you knew how much money they were paying us to say that, you would be really proud. Here, there it is. There's your check. Box of Junior Mints. Anything else for Coach? Okay, thanks.